Whoa, here I am. Yep, and here are the bugs. Yeah, lots of them. Anyway, not as, well, whatever, I won't talk about bugs. So anyway, yeah, a couple of videos I'm going to talk about. Subjects, I think, I don't know, not sure where we're going to go exactly. Don't have a destination yet. Yeah, existentialcat has been making videos again. You know, lovely girl. And yeah, she's smart, but I don't know. Yeah, I have a problem with the mushiness of her utterances on the YouTubes. And to contrast that, I mean, the beast to her beauty, or I don't know, the agony to her ecstasy, or whatever, would be WetlandsRemediation guy. Post a link. Yeah, I've seen this guy before, and blah blah blah. He makes videos. You know, he's out there. It's like I feel his pain, kind of thing. I mean, he's sort of my Dorian Gray thing. You know, he's sort of the portrait of myself that I see inside myself. He's my self-image, which is kind of funny. But beautifully articulate. I mean, what a lovely brain he has. I mean, it's just he has such a voice and a way of speaking. We have to like do some sort of, we have to write a screenplay and do a movie or a YouTube movie or something. Because yeah, he's like all Shakespeare and shit. He's made for it, damn it. But anyway, so back to, yeah, he did a good video, but yeah, of course it's a little obscure and incomprehensible. But you know, just too articulate for dumbasses like myself. So anyway, the subject I want to get on is this God thing with existentialcat. And maybe it's just because she picked this name, you know, when she was young. She's very young. I mean, she's basically grown up on YouTube. Anyway, and so yeah, maybe she just wants to stay with this stuff because, yeah, she has the name, so she has to try to be existential and all that kind of crap. I don't know. But anyway, so she reads from Einstein, a quote from Einstein, and then she validates a past description of hers of religion and God that's just nothing consistent with what Einstein wouldn't say, that's what I meant. No, he'd say exactly the opposite. He'd say, that's exactly why I said, only in this sense am I religious. It's like she sort of ignored that part and, you know, says she can't endorse both. All right, and, you know, this is a smart girl. I mean, you know, 100 and whatever, 40 whatever IQ and shit. But yeah, what's the point of this? And what's the point of using words like love and IQ in the same video? I mean, isn't the word love an offense to intelligence? I mean, to use a word that says absolutely nothing, that has no standard definition. I mean, what good is that in conversation about anything, any kind of rational conversation? I mean, it's only good if you're talking baby talk. So then you can go goo goo and gaga and beep 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 beep, and you can make funny sounds and babies will smile. So yeah, you can say love and you can make a lot of silly humans smile, but they don't know what the fuck they're smiling at. You know, it's a nothing. It's a vacant, incomprehensible, meaningless drivel word. You know, unless you be more explicit about what you're saying it is, it just doesn't mean anything. And all this qualifying of people's passions, like this is a good passion and that's a bad passion. Like if somebody, whatever, I don't even know what to say. I mean, if somebody loves the way you watch TV, that love is good. I don't even want to get into it. Yeah, but you know, there's just no way to say that one form of attachment is the superior form. I don't think. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. They're all attachments bred out of personal dependencies and drives, natural native drives are usually, you'll find one at the core Somewhere you'll find it. Somebody has taken the binoculars. If they were there one more day, I would have taken them. But good for someone else. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so back to this God thing. So we know what God is. Intelligent people know what God is. It's a complete bullshit word. Okay, it doesn't mean a goddamn thing. It was made, it's goo-goo, or gaga. It was made up by infantile human beings that had to contrive an excuse for their existence. They didn't know shit, so they just said God did it. Simple answer for simple minds. The end. There's nothing in all the good stuff, all the Einstein stuff we've been doing for the last few hundred years in terms of figuring out what this stuff is and how it works, and continents moving, and, you know, continents moving, that's a good one. Just because, you know, I thought about that the other day, and it really gives you some scale of time, if you really think about, you know, continents, and how far they've moved, and how slow they move, and just realize how long life has been evolving, and you can just sort of see it there, if you just imagine continents moving a foot a year, and, you know, now they're, you know, 10,000 miles away from each other. It gives you a little perspective on how long this stupid dance has been dancing, and how tired life must be. You know, give it a break. Let's sit down for a while. Anyway, so yeah, we know what God is. It's just bullshit. It's a bullshit word. Religion is a bullshit concept. All the science just points to a mechanical Einstein-type universe. Energy and motion. Energy does funny and bizarre things under certain circumstances. You get the right circumstances, certain compounds will, you know, burn upside down in 3 dimensions or whatever the fuck you want to come up with. Bizarre little strange things can happen, and we're one of those bizarre little strange things that happens when a bunch of chemistry sloshes around and one little molecule reproduces itself in a sustainable way, where its copy can do the same thing. It doesn't give birth to a sterile mule. It gives birth to a copy that can also give birth to a copy, and, you know, give it a few billion years of continental drift, and it turns into one of these little things with all these little feely tools, with all these senses, the sixth sense of their imagination, and making shit up and all that crap. And that's the plain, simple, intelligent description of reality. I mean, if you're not describing reality that way, you're not intelligent, you're stupid. You resolved the puzzle wrong. If I put it on a test, I mean, intelligence tests are basically troubleshooting tests. They're puzzle-solving tests. They're, can you see the solution? How fast can you find the solution? What's wrong with this picture kind of stuff? You know, when you say, there's a unicorn pulling the stagecoach. You know, yeah, and that's all they basically are. And defining our reality, looking at this puzzle of existence and saying, why is it here? How did it get here? What is it doing? What is its function? I mean, the whole Hannibal Lecter, you know, Marcus Aurelius bullshit-ish. Yeah, just ask the right questions and then answer the questions honestly. And it's quite obvious what's going on here. We're part of a syndrome. Okay, we're part of a forest fire of a kind, a chemical reaction, you know, that has a deeper origin than abiogenesis, quite obviously. The more complex chemistry first had to evolve. The complex chemistry that was the building blocks of the biological chemistry. But yeah, we can see this. We see the origin. We see it. All right, and it has nothing to do with anything but matter being blown apart. And this is how it recombines as it condensates in the universe. And what it's doing as an end game, or what it did before its origin is pretty much irrelevant to the fact that we can describe what it's doing in between. And what it's doing in between is consuming and reproducing. And for the first half of its existence as a syndrome, as a fire, there was no sentience, there was no feeling, so there was nothing being harmed. So it was a harmless little robot game, a little game between animated rocks, basically. Little animated rocks banging into each other, no purpose, no accomplishment, no mission. They were just made to do it. Just like a fire burns. It doesn't burn because it's got evil little devil horns and it wants to attack all the animals and kill them, because it wants to get Bill Gates or whoever's house it's threatening. The fire has no intent. It's a chemical reaction, and once it starts, it will keep, the dominoes will keep falling as long as there's one to cascade into. As long as there's more food available, more fuel, it'll keep converting, because that's what it does. It converts one form of energy into another form of energy. And that's what we're caught up with in the same kind of mechanical way. And there's no mystery to it. That mystery has been discovered. So back to Einstein. Yeah, what Einstein was basically saying is, we've answered some questions. And answering questions is fun. And it's really productive too. It makes us more civilized when we answer questions. And we get this stuff right. We figure out it's no good to have slaves. And we figure out that there's better ways to do things. More efficient, higher yield, more productive. That we have great power in discovering the truth. And that there's great dignity in it. It gives us dignity because we grow up. We stop using goo-goo and gaga words. We start being more explicit because now we can say what it is. We can identify it. We can label it. We can call it something. We can talk about curve space. We can talk about relativity. We don't have to get lost in paradoxes solved. And yeah, there's dignity and there's gratification and pleasure. That's a pure pleasure. It's not a pleasure derived through taking from somebody else, or stealing someone's girlfriend, or being the winner of the big game. No, it's a more pure pleasure. It's you against a hidden truth, and you've revealed it. Yeah, so that's nothing wrong with that. But nowhere in that Einstein quote was there any room for anything mystical, anything beyond the cold, cruel, hard truth. Yeah, he wasn't saying anything else, but that as a human organism, we can find purpose in finding the truth. And I think he would argue that we should never compromise the truth to feel better, because the truth is ugly. We should ignore it and hide it and shove it under the rug and pull back out our comforting little pacifiers and our rattles and our little fluffy, puffy toys, because the truth is not acceptable. And we need these love words again, and we need all the God word, and we need this mumbo jumbo, and it's a cheat. And so I guess part of me gets a little hostile towards this shit, because I don't think Einstein would appreciate it. I don't think Einstein would appreciate you using his words to some way give integrity to your gobbledygook. I mean, it might even piss him off. He might be saying, if he could, well, fuck, you're a cute chick and all, but I wasn't talking about no mumbo jumbo. I wasn't talking about no special sauce. I wasn't talking about no, life is a many splendored, beautiful thing, and we should all revere the process. No, I was saying we should revere our fucking intelligence, and we should try to figure out what the fuck we're doing here. So anyway, but maybe not. I guess I would just argue if Einstein was alive today, me and Einstein would get along. I mean, come on. He He loved a good argument, and he loved pulling the bullshit out, pull the weeds of nonsense, the jargon, and cut to the fucking chase. And you know, we've learned a lot since Einstein's day, and I'm sure he'd have an interesting perspective to offer. And I don't think it would be, you know, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't say vote for the Republican Party, that's for damn sure. But anyway, yeah, I'm sure he wouldn't be caught up in any placating anymore. You know, him and Dawkins and the rest of them would be in the same group of people, and he'd be a pretty hard atheist, I'm pretty damn sure. So I don't think he'd be cutting gods any slack. So anyway, even the word, like I said, the word is offensive to intelligence. You lose, in my opinion, you automatically lose 30 IQ points the minute you acknowledge God as a real word. So the minute you acknowledge that it has any meaning beyond a fart of an infant, you know, 4,000 years ago, that's all it is. It's infantile humans farted the concept, and that's all it is. It should be given no respect whatsoever. There's no evidence of a God in any truth we've ever revealed. No truth indicates the existence of any such intelligence in the universe. We know where we got ours. It was a great scheming tool. Scheming helps organisms beat the shit out of their competition and win the stupid chase game. That's where we got ours. Where would any other force get its from? It would get it from the same damn source. A brutal, insane competition in a scheming game to absorb the precious energy held by the other. So, yeah, whatever. I'm just saying, no point in having a high IQ if you're going to kill points by putting words like God in your brain. But as soon as you let that shit in, that's a broken gear, and all that's going to do is the missing teeth syndrome. You're going to have a brain that's going to have gears in it with missing teeth, and the whole thing's just going to turn to shit. Good metaphor, I think. Anyway, a little hot out here. Anyway, till next time. Cool is a lovely color. Lovely. Okay, anyway, enough of that shit. So till next time and such, and whatnot and so forth. But hey, yeah, hi. Yeah, I don't mean to be hostile. And such. Until next time.